I just don't have enough faith to be an atheist, and let me explain. And the reason I'm making this video is because I've seen so many atheists belittling Christians and religious people about how stupid they are, and that they're in a cult, and that they're brainwashed, and that they're idiots for believing in a God.
Yeah, that's really crappy. I would never talk that way about a religious person, because I don't think having a religious faith and being logical and intelligent are mutually exclusive. But in any group, you're going to have some outliers who are dicks.
So let's begin. 99% of atheists that you're going to run into believe in something called the Big Bang Theory and evolution. They believe that a small, dense point of energy exploded and created the universe as we know it today.
No, I'm going to stop you right there. The Big Bang was not an explosion within space. It was an expansion of the fabric of space-time itself.
Through billions of years of evolution, of course. So what happens when energy really is condensed into a small point? Will it actually explode? And the answer is no. Energy is not a material. A lot of people think it is. It's not. Energy is a property. Energy cannot be condensed. It can only be converted to another form of energy. Think of it like this. Energy is kind of like a measurement. And if you have a tape measure, it's not going to just explode because it has too many inches on it. It's just not going to. So if energy can't be condensed, then what was that small, dense point that they're talking about?
I don't really have any disagreement with your description of energy, but when you're talking about the Big Bang, the singularity is just a mathematical concept. It's not a physical thing that exists. And while you might find the Big Bang Theory hard to believe, the fact is that the cosmic microwave background radiation shows what happened when the matter and antimatter particles annihilated each other at the Big Bang. And the predictions made before we knew about the CMB were extremely accurate to the actual data, and the data we get from the CMB has been routinely accurate. And it does prove the Big Bang happened, despite your incredulity.
Because energy is the only thing that can't be created or destroyed. It's in the law of thermodynamics. That's science. That's truth. That's fact. So what was it? Well, it couldn't have been anything that was created, because then there'd have to be what? A creator. Yes, good. You're catching on.
I like how you're conflating the term created in the phrase energy cannot be created or destroyed with the idea of creation like a deity. That's a good one. But truthfully, the energy at the Big Bang could be eternal. The universe could be eternal. We don't know. And that's okay to say that I don't know. It's really okay.
And obviously they don't believe in a creator. See what I'm trying to say? It takes a lot of faith. And I always give atheists this question or dilemma, and it's this. How come you and I, every single explosion that we've ever seen has ended in mass destruction, killing, and death, maybe famine, but you're saying that, well, I know every single explosion ever has ended in those things, but there's just one, and it was the very first explosion ever. That one didn't. No, that one ended in a fine-tuned universe with 122 nature's constants, human life as we know it today, all the chemicals and the properties, and 122 nature's constants that just allow humans every day to live and survive and be completely okay.
I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. But I like the idea that the Earth and the universe are fine-tuned. If the Earth is fine-tuned, why is it that the habitable zone could have the Earth so much closer or so much farther away from the sun than it is, and we'd still be fine? And if the universe is fine-tuned, why is it that the universe is expanding? And why is the expansion rate increasing? Shouldn't it be constant? Also, humans can't breathe underwater, and Earth is almost completely covered with water. The universe is hostile to human life. We would die almost anywhere in the universe except for this one rock that we happen to be lucky enough to live on, and most of that is covered with water that we drown in.
Also, if everything came from one single cell way back when and we all evolved from that, inside termites there's a little thing called a protozoa. It's a living microorganism that digests the wood for them and allows the termite to live. The protozoa can't live without the termite, and the termite can't live without the protozoa. But if we all came from one cell, you have to ask, which one came first?
What do you mean we all came from one cell? You know evolution deals with populations, right? Like when we talk about the last universal common ancestor, that's a population of single-celled organisms. And that termite that you're talking about, yeah, they might not be able to live without it anymore. That doesn't mean that it's always been that way. Evolution leads animals to adapt to their environment and create symbiotic relationships with other animals and with other microbes. That's why you have the bacteria in your gut. That doesn't mean that it's always been that way.
I mean, they can't live without each other. Tough argument. And I love when they say that Christians are in a cult like they don't do this stuff. Like, you guys have a convention every year to gather around and tell each other how much you don't believe in something.
So I'm assuming you haven't actually been to an atheist conference, but I have. I went to Faithless Forum, and this is from their FAQ about why organize. Atheists around the world face discrimination, denigration, bullying, shunning, and violence. Religious institutions often hold massive political power and promote harmful dogma and dangerous pseudoscience. We feel it's our duty to speak out and push back by standing up for the rights of the non-religious and by promoting science, secularism, and humanism.
And remember, they're here to talk about reason and rationality, because it's reasonable to believe that nothing, which is what rocks think about, turned to something. And just some quick stats. Christians are more likely to describe themselves as happy compared to non-theists. You are statistically more likely to be happy than a non-theist. More likely to donate to charity, more likely to volunteer, more likely to engage with family, more likely to adopt, and more likely to not get divorced. Sounds like a pretty good life to me. I'll leave you with this question. Why is there something rather than nothing at all?
That's a fantastic question. If I had to guess, I'd say because in the universe we occupy, for there to be basically nothing, that would mean that there would be molecules that didn't move whatsoever, which would be absolute zero, which we've seen to be impossible so far. But really, I don't know. And again, it's okay to say that. But I don't think that rocks think. I don't believe that. So that's a straw man argument. And those statistics, I looked for the source in your bio. I didn't see it. But I just want to comment on this statistic about divorce. So do you think that there's a possibility that people who are religious are a lot less likely to divorce because women have historically been unable to divorce their husbands without repercussions in the past, and that's only now changing? Do you think that might have any influence on that score?
And that's why